Welcome to the Nightly Rant. I'm Mike.
And I'm Torya.
This is the show where we talk about the awful things that have happened in our day, the awesome things that have happened in our day,
and all the things in between.
Thanks for listening, and we truly hope you enjoy. Well, we're finally back home.
Yep. And I must say, it's damn good to be home.
It's crazy how much the animals missed us, though.
Especially the pretty girl.
Yeah, she was something of a lunatic, wasn't she?
Like, let's be real now. She missed us so much that she crawled into my lap and went to sleep.
Yeah, something she never does for anybody.
And she's never done
at
before.
All. And she's super friendly. And she's purring just as you talk to her and she purrs.
Yep.
Then there's Yogi. He was simply ecstatic that we were home, jumping up and down on us, running around like a lunatic.
And has been glued to one of us ever since.
Yep. He won't let us go now. He's like, you are not leaving ever again. And even Parker was raring at us and talking to us and letting us pet him. And Olive, she's happy.
Mm-hmm. And she just can't show it because she's Olive.
When it's funny because Parker, that poor guy, he likes to sleep on our bed. And we told them to keep the bedrooms closed at all times. Yep. It avoids trouble. I mean, that's the truth. Right. And so that poor guy, when we opened the door yesterday, he went in there and he slept on our bed for hours. Hours.
Like, this my bed. This my bed.
He was crazy.
He's all excited.
But it was a fun trip.
Yeah. I had a good time.
I did too. I enjoyed it. It was just the right length too. I think we would not have survived one more day there.
I don't think so either.
We did the things we really wanted to do.
Yeah.
We saw the things we wanted to see. We went to the places we wanted to go to.
Yep.
And we explored the strip. We people watched. We did a whole big discussion of it on the Zoo Media Network, which you can listen to for free this week because it's my birthday celebration week at imzoo.com. There's a great chatting with Mike and Torya all about our crazy weekend activities and what we did.
Yep.
Karaoke bar is discussed in there. We went to a great karaoke bar. It's the most fun I've had in years.
That was a really good time.
The drive back wasn't too bad either.
No, we stopped for alien beef jerky.
But that's what's funny. We had a nice laugh about the alien beef jerky, remember?
Yes.
So we were driving, and you leave Vegas, and anyone who's gone to Vegas has seen the alien beef jerky signs.
Right, they're everywhere.
And they're located in Baker. And so on the way there, I could tell you really wanted to stop there. But I just said, nah, we're going to drive to Vegas, and then we'll stop on the way back. I don't like stopping that much when we're headed in that direction. And since we'd already stopped twice
to
use the bathroom, I just wanted to get there. But on the way back, I planned to stop there. And it was funny because right away, I don't think we were on the road 5-10 minutes. And I think it was right after we passed Henderson, where the last soccer game was, at that little park, that we saw the first beef jerky sign. And so you texted them to get the coupon discount thingy.
Right.
And a little further down, there's a beef jerky place that's at the State Line outlets. There's some outlet stores right at State Line in Primm, Nevada. And it literally said, get your fresh jerky from us, not from Uranus. It was pretty funny. I mean, it was a direct shot.
About that? You haven't stopped laughing about that.
So. It was a direct shot fired at the alien beef jerky people, though. Like, it was a direct shot fired. I mean, when you pull up to this place, it looks like a giant, like, space crawler device that would be, you land on a planet and then this thing drives around. It looks like a giant car like that. It's got wheels on the side of the building. And then there's like a crazy looking car in the front with aliens just chilling out inside of it. That's kind of kooky.
What's funny is they sent me a $1 off coupon to use. And then just now, actually 4 minutes ago, they sent me a, hey, thanks for stopping by yesterday. We hoped you enjoyed your jerky. And then they sent me a 20% off coupon for their online store.
Well, it's really smart because we were talking about that. Like, they get you, you're kind of a captive audience. A lot of people will stop at Baker for food, restroom activity, gas, etc. So once you're there, it's like, hey, never heard of this alien beef jerky place, or hey, I've always seen the sign and I've never stopped here. So they stop.
Right, because they gave them a coupon.
And when you stop, you find out that their beef jerky is pretty high quality.
Yes.
And
they have tri-tip jerky, which is the bomb.
And quite honestly, it's average price for the quality beef jerky that you see anywhere, like at the swap meet or whatever. It's about the same price. It's no more expensive, no less expensive. Mm-mm. They actually have a good deal of 3 packages for $25. So, I think it winds up being about $15 a pound-ish. And that's what it costs at, like the swap meet and places of that nature. It's just expensive. Beef jerkies, I'm not sure. Maybe it's because it takes so long to make it properly and then flavor it and go through all that process that it's
premium
just
cuts of beef
a little
too.
Pricey. It's just a little pricey. That's okay. But they have an online store where you can order it, and I think that's freaking brilliant.
And now we get 20% off.
Because you like it and you want more. Mm-hmm. What was the first thing I said to you when we ate some of that and we were saying how good it was?
That we wanted more.
And I wondered if they sold it online, and you looked it up, and sure enough, they sell it online. I think that's crazy.
Their text is funny. It says, "I'm sure that you are light years away from our store now, so here is a 20% off coupon for our online store. Why waste time? Let's get your UFO restocked."
It's interesting. It's almost like, when I look at it from a marketing perspective, they're doing an okay job. I would not say they're doing a stupendous job. I don't think the copy that they wrote compels me to go purchase from their online store. I really don't. It could be written way better to make me more intrigued.
Yeah, I think so.
They could have. One thing that I think they're going to want to do at some point is create an offer that draws me to the site. Like, hey, come and play our spin to win game, or some crazy game that makes you go to their website. Because once you're on their website, you're going to be more apt, in my opinion, to purchase something from them. I mean, it's not a horrendous price. I have no clue what it costs to ship. Did you happen to notice that when you were looking at their website?
Anything.
Yeah, see, that could be the deal breaker. Because if it's like $10 to ship, that's like a whole bag of jerky.
Yeah. You know what I noticed about their...
But I can't imagine it would be that expensive. It's pretty light.
And it's pretty local. So if they charged shipping by distance, then we'd be set anyway.
Less than $5.
Close enough.
Less than $5, you think?
I think so.
Me too.
And my bet is they're the kind of place that has a minimum order. And it would make sense. If you make the minimum order, then there's free shipping.
Free shipping. Yeah, good point.
What I think they should have done exactly what you said. Instead of here's a 20% off coupon, it should have been a link to their website. Here, spin this wheel to find more discounts at our online store. Because that way they're letting you know about the online store and they're taking you there. Because who can resist at least attempting to win a discount?
Well, you listeners are about to get some free advice from a person who's been in the technology industry for almost as long as there's been a technology industry. Okay? I'm one of the pioneers of website development. I mean, I was one of the first people with an actual website that things moved and talked to you and did all sorts of interesting things. I remember having a website where it had a quote of the day, and literally people were amazed that they would go to my site and every day the quote would change, and they wanted to know what I did to make that happen. And I'll tell you, all I did was once a year load the database up with quotes for each day of the year. That was it. It just looked at the date, grabbed the quote, populated it on the screen. It was easy. And I've been doing this stuff for years. And here's what I've been toying with for people who sell products online. People try to do giveaways, right? Here's a giveaway. I want to give you free shipping. I want to give you this. I want to give you that. What if you programmed your website products to randomly, based off of combinations of the product,
right,
offer a discount code for the combination of products you add to the shopping cart? So, like, I noticed that they have tri-tip jerky, and then they have, I guess you'd call it regular jerky. I don't know. The difference is the tri-tip jerky. Imagine you're eating a piece of steak.
It's really good, and it's way more tender than the other jerky usually.
And it's not so chewy. And the other one is more hard, like the classic beef jerky you'd buy at 7-Eleven.
Apparently, they also have filet mignon jerky.
which is probably even more tender.
And more expensive.
And way more expensive. But the point being, what if it was like, okay, if they add 3 of the special jerkies to the cart, depending on what they bought, we give them a $5 coupon.
Yeah.
And they could have random offers like that just, just because you put the same thing in the next time doesn't mean you get the same offer. That way you wouldn't know. And it could just be randomized. And what's cool about it is it encourages people to add things to the cart to get the discount. Which, by the way, you program the site and you make it very clear that if you now remove those things from the cart, not only are you going to lose the discount for that order, but you'll never see it again.
Right.
And that kind of makes you, I don't know, you want to order more because you want to get to that discount. And it's like a game that you play. I don't know, it's just an interesting idea, and I haven't thought it all the way through. But any of you out there that have businesses and you have products that you sell and you want to maybe do something like this, get in touch with me. Mike at webscientists.net. Get in touch with me. I'll have more for you. If you call me, text me, email me, shake my hand when you see me in public. And I know some of you see me in public. I see people checking me out and talking to people and saying, "Oh, that's that guy. That's that guy." So yeah, I'm infamous, and
You're
yes, I do mean infamous. Any event, it was a good trip, right? We had a good time. What was your favorite part of the whole trip?
I think being out of this city.
Just being out of town?
Yes. Kind of nice. It's been a while since we've gone somewhere together. And
so that kind of infers that we could have gone to Phoenix, Arizona, and you would have been just as happy. Is that correct? Okay. See, for me, it was probably, I don't know. For me, it was twofold. I think the quality time that we got to spend together was priceless. Like, people would say, "Are you crazy?" I mean, we worked together all day long. And yet, going away and being able to not worry so much about work, but worry more about each other and spending time with each other and doing things that make us laugh and smile. Karaoke bar, for instance. That's quality time that we got to spend together. Just the two of us, plus our friend Amy that we invited to come with us. That was a lot of fun.
Right.
We just had a good time, and we got to be relaxed. I almost feel like I got to know her a little bit better, too.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
And maybe see a little bit different side of her than what I've seen before, and it was fun. It was great. And we literally ended up setting a time when it's this time I'm going to call the lift. Because otherwise we would have stayed there and stayed there and stayed there and stayed there.
Yeah, I think...
And I don't think we would have gotten home till like 4 or 5 in the morning.
I don't think that would have suited us, either of us, very well.
No, it wears us out. And I think it was a really good decision we made the next night not to stay out late, because that would have been 2 nights in a row. We would have been toasted.
We wouldn't have left Vegas before 8 o'clock on yesterday morning, though. Like, that's what would have happened if we'd have stayed out late again. We'd ended up sleeping in, and then we'd have been grumpy, and...
We would have been super tired.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it. And as it was, sleeping a little bit later on Sunday, I had to remember that day, sleeping in a little bit later, it wasn't super late, but a little bit later, suited us just fine. We had some, I had coffee with tea. When specifically got that, remember?
Yep.
We had breakfast. That morning we had a nice breakfast. That was a good breakfast. We went to, what was the place called?
For breakfast?
Yeah.
Maryland's Cafe.
Maryland's Cafe, and it's inside of the Tuscany Hotel and Casino on Flamingo Road. Was it Flamingo Road?
It's either Flamingo or Paradise.
Yeah. It wasn't Paradise. Paradise goes the other way.
Oh.
It goes just parallel to the strip. So it had to be Flamingo Road. And it was really good food. Like, the service was a little slow. No, I'm sorry, I'm going to correct myself.
The service was a
lot slow. But what I honestly, this is going to sound weird to you. She apologized when she brought us the food. She apologized once right before she brought us the food. But what she didn't do, which usually drives me crazy when people do this, is every 10 minutes, we haven't forgotten about you. Don't worry, we're just busy. We haven't forgotten about you. Don't worry, we're just busy. I don't need to hear that 100 times. Like, twice is good enough for me.
Right.
And so I feel like she handled it perfectly.
Yeah.
The way she handled it. And it wasn't her fault. Like, we were both observant, and the people next to us, like across the aisle from us, they had been there before us. Mm-hmm. And it took them quite a while to get their food. I mean, we had been there for at least 30 minutes before they got their food.
Right, so, it's funny because we planned on leaving for breakfast at 9:30 and eating around 10, and it ended up we left a little bit early to go to breakfast and didn't eat till 10:30, but whatever, it didn't really matter.
But we found the place. We enjoyed ourselves. We ate well. The only tragedy is I am never going to find my hoodie ever again. It's gone.
I know. It sucks.
I'm going to have to get another one because I like that hoodie.
The only explanation is that it got dropped.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't left inside the room and it's not in the car. So the only thing, it had to be between the door to the car. And what you said, yeah, to me yesterday makes sense. Maybe you grabbed it without realizing you grabbed it with your backpack, or it was caught on your backpack or something. And then you carried it. And then, of course, because you don't even know you have the hoodie,
you don't even notice that
notice that you dropped it, and you were walking behind me. So It's very possible that it just got dropped, and we don't even know that it got dropped, or we didn't know at the time. We know now.
Right. It's too bad. It's really too bad. That creepy guy in the room next to us probably took it.
But how about when we stopped at the shops at Barstow?
What about it?
Well, you made a very good observation. They make the place look huge. And so I started thinking about it, and there's a very similar but way more attractive to me outlet mall on the way to Palm Springs. I think it's Cabazon Outlets is what it's called. And one of your complaints was that all of the stores were high end, and you're right, it was like Coach and Gucci.
It wasn't anything I wanted to browse.
And Tommy Hilfiger and Michael Kors and etc. And then there was a Nike store, which was, decently priced, but no different than the Nike store in the Orange outlets at Orange. But the Cabazon one has more stores, like a Nike store. It has a Gap store. It has a Old Navy store. It has Under Armour store. It has a lot of things that are more affordable, but at outlet prices. So you wind up. I've been to both places. I spend money at the Cabazon one. I don't really spend money at that one out there in Barstow.
It was disappointing. I thought like you said, it really does look like there's a ton more stuff in there from the road, and then there isn't.
Well, what the Cabazon one does is the parking is all straight, like a long strip mall. Mm-hmm. And then the shops all run straight, like a long strip mall. Mm-hmm. So it is a bit longer, like there's a walking that you have to do. But this one, they did it in like a horseshoe. Mm-hmm. And then the parking was all in the middle of the horseshoe. But they put tons of parking because that place gets hectic on the weekends. And it makes the place look massive. And it's not nearly as big as all of that makes it look. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's even an offshoot. Like when we were getting off the freeway, there's an offshoot of those same shops across the street.
Really?
Yeah. There were like 5 more stores over there.
Lame.
So, pretty interesting. But the drive wasn't bad. We didn't hit any like stopped traffic except for getting on to the 91 from the 57, but that's always like that.
And it wasn't even stopped, it was just slow.
Because people don't know how to merge. That's really what it comes down to.
That's true.
But then we came home, and what did we find out? That one of our neighbors that we really like is moving.
Yeah. Like, that was a shocker of all shockers to come home to.
Yeah, it was. It was insane. And, like, we pulled in and we see this truck with, like, a trailer attached to it. And we're like, hey, is that guy moving? And sure enough, when we come down the hallway, there he is with a dolly full of boxes, and they're moving furniture, and he even took us through the house to show us the layout of the house.
Yep.
I mean, it's okay. That's what happens when you live in an apartment. People come and go. But, I mean, as we've talked about before, it's ironic that we just talked about how the people in this hallway have been here for a while. And that they're all normal people who are courteous and don't do stupid things. And then all of a sudden we're going to lose someone right here as an anchor. But hey, you know what? That doesn't mean we won't get a good person there and be just as friendly.
No, there's just an element of risk now.
Yes. It's the unknown.
Somebody could be offended by the yog dog barking at them when they come home.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. So we'll keep an eye on that situation and handle it accordingly.
But I'm sure we'll have something to talk about when somebody does eventually.
Well, of course. Always. But it's nice to be home. It's nice to be able to sleep on our own bed. It's nice to relax on our own couch, kind of get back to our own routine, get back to work. Just life goes on, right?
Pretty much.
So, yeah, it was a fun weekend. I enjoyed it. But like I said, mostly because of spending time with you. What was your least favorite part of the weekend?
The Lyft driver the first night we were there.
Yeah, and we did talk about that.
I feel like that situation could have ruined parts of the weekend if Lyft would have continued to be as annoying as that one was. So it just kind of created a little tiny feeling of dread, but let's be honest, it's different from the lady that we got on Uber who talked the whole way to someone on the telephone. Right.
At least she took us directly from point A to point B. That lady took us all around the country to get us to where...
I'm surprised we didn't end up on the strip.
To get us where we were going. And in some instances, it did feel, like Richard said, like she did it on purpose.
Yeah.
And that would be annoying. But after that, they were all going directly to where we wanted to go. And hey, I complained to Lyft about the address situation where the GPS wouldn't allow us to put in an address. It kept insisting we pick a location inside of UNLV. And they gave us a $10 credit for reporting it to them. So
that's awesome.
That's super awesome customer service. Nothing wrong with that. I'll take that all day long.
Yeah.
So, for me, I would have to agree with you. I think that was probably the worst part.
But that's saying a lot. I mean, that tells you how good the weekend was, that the worst part was a shitty Lyft driver.
Now, other people might say that the soccer team's performance was terrible. But I even saw a coach make a comment that while we didn't win any games, we learned a lot, and I was very proud of my team. And I think he perhaps saw what I saw, which is minor tweaks, and we would have had different results in those games. Right. And let's face it, like you made a comment. Last year's team would have lost those games 15 or 20-0.
Right.
The worst loss we had was 5-1. That was the worst loss we had. We lost 4-0 and we lost 3-0. That was it. So we gave up 12 goals and we scored 1. We would have given up more than 12 goals in one game and wouldn't have scored any. I mean, we scored on the number 8 team in the entire country.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy when you think about it that way. Like, that's kind of crazy.
And I feel like moving up to that tier 1 level is going to give us consistent competition like that.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, what are you learning if you're not being challenged?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, you could go back to doing tier 2 again, but we were pretty much undefeated. We lost 2 games that season that we shouldn't have lost. We all know we shouldn't have lost them.
Right.
But we did. We lost them.
Right.
And had it gone the way we were supposed to go, it would have been an undefeated regular season. You don't learn much from that.
You don't learn anything from that.
Like when Matt played ice hockey, Matt had a team where he joined this team and the team was forced to play AAA hockey. Okay. No, it was... Yeah, the first season they were forced to play AAA hockey. And that's because of the rules of ice hockey in this area. It had something to do with club recruiting and things of that nature that they try to avoid recruiting. Uh-huh. So they have this rule. Forced us to play AAA. It went okay. We made it to the state championships. We lost, but that's okay. The next season, the same club decided to do a double-A team, but at least half of the other team moved on to a different age division. So now they had 2 teams. Well, Matt's double-A team played 37 games and went 1-36-0.
Okay.
They did not win a game until the 36th game of the season. That's right. They won their second to last game of the season. But it taught him so much. He became a much better goalie. He didn't worry so much about winning and losing. He worried about team performance, personal performance. He learned those lessons, and it made him much better. And I'm hoping the same thing happens for these boys, that they learn that performing as a team is the most important thing, not as an individual.
And I think that's definitely something they need to work on. Because I feel as though if they'd have played as a team this weekend, they would have done better than they did.
And there's certain players on the team that need to learn that lesson more than others. But they all need to learn the lesson. Like, you can't get frustrated and yell at your teammates. You can't get frustrated and stop playing hard.
Right.
You have to give it your full effort at all times, constantly and consistently.
Right.
And that's something that they're going to learn and that they'll work on. And I think when Coach says that the team learned a lot, I think it's partially that. And I also think he learned some things that he needs to work on with that team. Agreed?
I do agree with that. Yep.
So,
definitely.
I think there's some who would tell you that this weekend was not very successful from soccer perspective. I disagree.
I don't know. If their coach thinks that they learned a lot playing those 3 games, then I tend to agree. Because that's what we were thinking already.
Yeah. It's definitely something different. And you know what? It's harder when you play tough competition, but you get better. When I used to play chess, I got to a certain point where I played in the open division all the time because I played against better players. And that was only that at that point that, like, I was improving slowly, but I improved dramatically doing that. Because when you're forced to compete against people who are supposed to beat you, it's weird. You can kind of relax and play your absolute best.
Well, yeah, because you got
nothing to lose.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to win.
Exactly. So if you do, it's amazing. And if you don't, then nobody really is disappointed.
And if you tie, it's amazing. People, come on. It was 0-0 with like 2 minutes left in the half against the number 8 team in the nation. Now, if you walk up to that game and you know who our team is and who that team is, and you go to a parent, what's the score? And they say 0-0. Oh, how much time left? 2 minutes in the first half. They're going to be shocked.
Right.
We held that team to 1 goal the entire first half. It was 1-0. They were right there in the game the entire first half.
Yep. And for most of the second half.
Amazing how well they played. Amazing.
Keep in mind, we scored our goal in the second half.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the last 10 minutes of the game that they really kind of were done.
Yeah, we scored when it was 3-0. It was 3-1 at one point.
Yep.
Now it's as close as we got. But hey, we did great. I was proud of the kids. And it seemed like the parents had a good time. So, that's the most important aspect of the entire trip, I think, is that everybody had fun. So, I don't know. How do you feel being back home now?
Great. It was nice to take a super long hot shower in our own shower.
Yeah.
And then it was nice to lay on the couch.
I know,
it's just comfortable.
It was nice just to be comfortable and not sitting on a bed the whole entire time, because our Airbnb was interesting. The guy furnished it with all IKEA furniture, and he had this IKEA futon. And I'm telling you, I do not know how anyone would lay on that, because there was this steel bar in the dead center. It reminded me of 2 chairs that didn't have arms on the center part, and they were put together.
Yeah, I don't.
They didn't look like they belonged together, even though they belonged together.
Right.
It was weird.
It was horrendous. It was uncomfortable to sit on.
You had to sit on one side or the other. You couldn't sit in the middle. It was a 2-seater. It wasn't a 3-seater like it looked like.
Right.
Interesting though, but I would stay there again.
I would too.
Yeah, I would stay there again. I'm intrigued by how all that worked. It was cheap. We spent $117 total.
For 3 nights. That's
less than they paid for one night of their hotel.
Yep.
I mean, and that's including taxes.
Yep.
So, well, I'm glad to be home too. I'm really glad to be back with the animals and back getting my stuff done and helping my clients and working on the podcast network, which again, in celebration of my birthday week, head over to imzoo.com. Listen to the content. Every single piece of content that's created this week is free, and it lists in the notes what level of subscription it would be. So if you find that you like the friends level, subscribe. If you like the family level, subscribe. If you just like the follower level, subscribe. This is the point. Get a chance to listen to the free content. What have you got to lose? It's free.
Exactly.
imzoo.com. Anyway, well, I don't have much else left to add, so...
I don't either.
All right, well...
Take care, everyone.
From us...
It's been fun.
From us and all the cats and the dog, hasta la bye-bye. Hey, this is Mike, and I just wanted to tell you that if you enjoyed the show, and I truly hope you did, you can subscribe on iTunes or Google Play and not miss a single episode. But if you happened to miss an episode and you didn't find it on Google Play or iTunes for some reason, you could go to our website, which is theNightlyRant.wordpress.com.